A little more information. So that was a little different. It's USDA rural development. Yes, sir. That's working.
In 1 minute, I will begin. Good evening again. If we can see this, please, so we can begin. Thank you. Welcome and good evening. Good evening. Enthusiastic audience. I like it. Okay. We realize the elections have worn us down some, but welcome. Welcome to what we call the new Sustainable Ag and Rural Development Institute. I am your director of this center, and for the first time, Symbol, Southern University and USDA, I should say in every aspect. So that is good. I like it. And of course, I like it. I am here to introduce Southern University Land Grant Campus. Beginning first with our very own Chancellor, Vice Dean, Dr. Bobby Ortiz. If you just raise your hand. Dr. Calvin Walker. Dr. Andre Johnson, Vice Chancellor of Research. Dr. John Melion Coffey, Vice Chancellor, no strange to us, Vice Chancellor of Extension. Theo Walker, Vice Chancellor of Academics. And our very own, our USDA liaison, Ms. Allison Johnson. And if you would, you have a mic, USDA, introduce yourself, because I don't know many of you I've seen, but I'm not going to mess up. So if you will, please introduce yourself.
Thank you. I'm Greg McCain. I'm the State Director of USDA Farm Service Agency.
Kevin Norton, State Conservationist for the Natural Resources Conservation Service.
Roger Bell, Regional Director for Risk Management Agency, Texas.
I'm Dr. Carrie Cassidy, I'm the State Director for USDA Rural Development.
I'm Kathy Broussard. I'm with the National Ag Statistics Service and I'm with Louisiana State Statistician.
Thank you. Dr. Fields, you have the floor.
Good afternoon. I'd like to join with Antonio Harris and recommend all of you all here. This is the second in a series of listening sessions we will have throughout the state. We're learning as we go. Y'all hear me? Loud and clear. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. As I said earlier, this is our second of many listening sessions we will have throughout the state. But the purpose of the listening session is just that, for us to listen to your concerns, your needs, and how we might best serve you. We want you to be talkative. We have made on this side, you on this side as well. And we have members of my administrative council that deal with the Southern University side of it. And between the two of us, the two different groups, we hope to be able to respond to any question that you have. Obviously, some of you have questions that you can't explain. So we will make sure that you give those answers from us. Having said that, we will start with questions that you all might have on some of the Western side, be it academics, be it research, be it extension and outreach. On the USDA side, looking at all the various programs that they have. And they have a list of 21 programs, areas that we brought them from. And we will allow them to briefly also tell you the questions of what are the various programs that they have to serve. So, having said all that, we will now begin our questions from the audience. And take the folks to do that too. Make sure if you haven't done it already, the out of the first area, 6 or 7 different charts. Each one of them have a specific question on there that we would like to have you answer. If you haven't answered already, before you leave, we'd like to know your feelings and reaction. So having said that, I saw a hand over here. Yes, sir.
My question is that, you how far Southern University, I got what you said. I can't propose how do we take the system down. What is the standard?
Because we are recording it, we want to know who you are, who you represent. If your phone is what kind of crops you have.
Oh, I'm John Nicholson, Mortaria, County agent. I own Southern organic foods like a retail. At the same time, I'd like to do is now promote the county program at Southern University.
I don't want to get a whole lot into that, but I'll say that the program is live and well, and we can come to which you will be hearing some very positive things coming out of the university. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
Can the panelists introduce their programs and tell us a little bit about them? That would probably generate more questions.
Okay. Let us start with the academic side and then we'll go to the universities. Dr. Walker, who are you?
I'm Calvin Walker, Social Vice Chancellor for Auxiliary Services and External Engagement. That covers things related to the live show. Colin Harris and Vice Chancellor Parkland summer program called Sagas program. Assist the other 3 vice chancellors and things that they have the need of. So I think they'll turn like a little line. It would be outdoor laboratory, dealing with beef cattle, pigs, chickens, horticulture, those practices. And anything related to students. So I should be able to say Dr. William Walker.
Good evening. Again, my name is Dr. Andre Johnson. I am the Vice Chancellor for Research and Technology Development at the Southern University Ag Center. We primarily have 5 research programs centered around sustainable agricultural systems, urban forestry and natural resource management, human nutrition, family and consumer sciences, economic and consumer development, and youth development. Those are our 5 primary programs. Under those, we have a number of other programs that kind of build into that. We're also embarking upon 3 new initiatives, or rather 4 new initiatives, one of which is the Institute for Medicinal Plants, the Institute for One Health One Medicine, the Institute for Food Science, Nutrition, and Wellness, and finally the last one is the Institute for Air, Nutrient, Soil, Water, Ecosystem, Remote Sensing Institute. And that institute there really focuses on the natural resources. So we will spend time really kind of helping our stakeholders, our clientele, and really dealing with issues related to soil, whether it be contamination, nutrient management, water quality and quantity. So those are kind of things that we'll focus on with that particular institute. So again, we have 5 research programs, and now we have embarked upon 4 new institutes that will really capture most of that things that we mentioned. But in addition to that, there will be some additional things that will come through from that.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am Dawn Gullion-Paquin, Vice Chancellor for Extension and Outreach. And this facility that we're in is an extension initiative. The purpose of extension is to take the resources of the university and bring them to the local community. So I'm glad to see all of you here. And this is one of our primary extension efforts. We focus on the same 5 areas that Dr. Johnson mentioned, but we do things a little differently. We have agents across the state of Louisiana in this community and in the other community, some of the other communities across the state of Louisiana. Mr. Ron Nicholas, the first person that spoke, is one of our retired county agents, and he served in this parish for well over 30 years. Terry Washington, raise your hand. He's our extension agent from Rapides Parish, and he's with us tonight. So what we do, and I think you all know extension, we're not strangers to the community, but we serve you all in the communities where you live with our agents, our boots on the ground.
Thank you. I'm Dorelia Scott Walker. I'm serving as the Vice Chancellor for Academics and the Assistant Dean for the College of Agricultural Sciences. And I'm to share with you our programs, our degree programs. We have 3 departments in the college. One is urban forestry, and we offer 3 different degrees: a PS degree, a master's degree, and a PhD in that program. So if you know students who are interested in urban forestry, then Southern is the place to go. That program is well recognized in the country, and we're very proud of the work that's done. We also have a Department of Agricultural Sciences, and there are 4 concentrations: ag, economics, agricultural business, plant and soil science, and animal science. And of course, if there's an interest in pre-vet, we have that program, that concentration as well. And then the 3rd department is family and consumer sciences. There are 3 concentrations in that department. Child development for those who are interested in child and family, working with children, whether it's a daycare or teaching pre-K children. That's an area that our students have been choosing, and that number seems to increase each year. There is a real interest in that area. And then, of course, there's the food nutrition program. For those who are interested in the dietetics program, food management, and nutrition and health. And the 3rd area is the fashion and textile. That's an area that's popular. Many of our students end up in the business world. dealing with marketing, passion, design, textile. So we have brochures in the back. Please pick up those brochures before you leave and share the information with others because there are many opportunities. And one of the things that I'm really impressed with in our academic area is that our students get a chance to participate in some internship programs. They, and I always say to students, you are so lucky to have those opportunities to get exposed to the career area before you leave the university. And many of those opportunities include the SBA. They're just really opportunities for students, so please share the information with them.
Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Kathy Broussard. I'm with the National Ag Statistics Service. And our agency, we're the data collection agency, the information agency for USDA. So we're tracking what's produced. We interview farmers and ranchers, do surveys with them, find out what they're producing, how they've been affected by disasters. We're just the person that you would come to for information. A lot of times the data we collect is used for policy decisions, determining where the situations need to be corrected. We don't make the policy, we don't do analysis, but we provide the data that a lot of these people use. You know, the university uses some, and these other agencies also use it as a resource. We also do the ag census. We do that every 5 years, and we'll have it allows us to look at the county level, and we will have the new results in February. We'll look at 2017, so we'll have that county detail gives us that 5-year look to see what the changes from every year. We're out there for information. That information is used to benefit everyone.
Next time you need to talk a little bit louder so that you need to.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Dr. Castillo. I'm the State Director for USDA Rural Development. Also of note, from a little town called Rovers, Louisiana, probably about 35, 40 miles down the road. So my role in rural development as a state director is to be able to help to facilitate the deployment of resources for our rural communities. These can be in things like housing or helping to rebuild or improve our nation's rural infrastructure, help to build essential community facilities, and also foster economic development opportunities in our rural communities.
Well, good evening. My name is Roger Bell. Like I said, I'm the director of the Jackson Regional Office of Risk Management Agency. Risk Management Agency is the agency that manages the federal crop insurance program. We don't have a local presence like my counterparts here. We're a regional office. We manage the crop insurance program in 5 states. That's Arkansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Tennessee. The way the crop insurance program works, crop insurance is sold by, it's a public-private partnership. It's sold by agents of a company and also serviced by that company. We are the agency that manages the program. We provide the policies, we provide the rates, and everything is even across the board as far as the agents and companies the way they operate. We insure over 2.7 million acres of property here in the state of Louisiana with about 990. Close to $1 billion worth of liability. We cover everything from blueberries on small acreage in north Louisiana, to sugar cane down in South Louisiana. We also insure sweet potatoes and all the other root crops here in the state of Louisiana. We've also expanded our program into some livestock. Got some livestock coverages. We have pasture land and forage now. And some other areas that, like nursery, have been along the line. We also recently reinstated forestry program. So, Louisiana is a unique agriculture state. We try to be as flexible as possible as a regional office and try to make sure the policies that we have in place are suitable for the farmers.
Again, I'm Kevin Norton with the Natural Resources Conservation Service. We're the private lands conservation arm of USDA, working partnerships with local soil and water conservation districts. Our function is primarily to get out on the ground with agricultural producers, whether that's a cropland producer, a forest landowner, or a livestock producer, or even a small plot agriculture, because we do offer assistance with, we call them seasonal high tunnels. A lot of people just call them hoop houses or plastic greenhouses, or this type things. But our role is to get out on the land with you, look at the issues that you have, and help build a conservation plan around what resources you have and the objectives you have for your agricultural operation. Along with that, we do have some financial assistance that comes through some farm bill programs. They're all cost share programs. They require an investment on the part of the individual, but we do put resources out through the Environmental Quality Incentive Program, the Conservation Stewardship Program, and then if you're interested in wetland restoration, we have a wetland reserve program that is an easement-based program, which means we exchange the money with you for the surface use of the land, and you retain the right to provide enjoyment and to pay taxes on it and use it for recreation purposes, but we'll do wetland restoration, which includes some hydrology and hardwood tree establishment. So we're there local. We have about 200 people here in the state. We work every parish in the state, and including the staff that works on coastal restoration issues down south. So we're here to help.
I'm Craig McCain with the Farm Service Agency, and our title explains basically what we do. We deal with production agriculture or farms, both small and large, both non-traditional and traditional crops. And we like to believe we can provide two broad functions. One is capital investment, recognizing that agriculture requires a capital investment just like any other business. So in effect, we make direct or guaranteed loans to individuals or entities that are engaged in the production of crops or livestock. So in one sense, we loan money, or we work with banks who do loan money to agricultural producers. The second broad category of benefit that we provide is risk mitigation, recognizing that agriculture, all businesses have risk inherent to the business, but agriculture has a unique risk that is unpredictable and uncontrollable relative to weather. And so we have several programs that allow producers to mitigate their risk or to receive benefits should they have an excessive loss. We provide benefits through direct payments to producers, and we also provide a relatively reasonable level of insurance coverage for crops that are not covered by federal crop insurance, which you heard about earlier. So we basically work completely with production agricultural operations, small and large, traditional and non-traditional, and we basically provide capital investment and risk mitigation.
On this side, we have Allison Johnson, who is Miss USDA. All of the agencies over there. She not only represents the business, she represents all of the USDA. She's the Southern University of
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Allison Johnson. I represent USDA Office of Partnerships and Public Engagement. I work with all the 5 agencies represented here, and there are 12 others that are listed on the sheet that I have in the back, such as Food Nutrition Service, Food Safety Inspection Service, and some others. That office was established by OPPE in order to be a link to the university and to the state of Louisiana to serve minority farmers, to recruit students, to secure internships for our students, and full-time employment and research and extension and teaching opportunities and cooperative agreements with the university.
Okay. I have heard the panel to now have expanded questions from the audience. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Gina Rizzo. I'm an associate teacher at Society of Army Academy. I also work Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So I'm a teacher in the Facility of Development program in the Academy of Environmental Sciences here at the Society. And for the past few summers, I've also worked as one of the STEM teachers the Southern Ag here in Southern, where I taught science. One thing I'm very interested in, first of all, I want to thank this lady for making a recommendation for y'all to give a finished introduction, but also writing things down. So my question to Dr. Johnson is, you're over on 4 new initiatives. And one that I'm very interested in, is actually goes to Dr. Johnson and to Dean Walker, is I'm very interested in speaking on Mr. Harris about having a partnership with Opelousas High School. Not just the Development Academy, because these are tend to be our top tier students, not only at the high school, but in addition. But I'm trying to put them interest in HBCUs, interest in agriculture, because the first thing students think of when they think about agriculture is farm. They must see all the possibilities and where you're coming from. We're talking about programs we offer, not just in nutrition, but with textiles, with craft, with fashion design. And I'm just thinking about a lot of opportunities for students, all ethnicities, be interested in that. And so my proposal is, what would it take for us to do a partnership with the high schools? Now, I'm going to be selfish, with OHS, to have a dual enroll program. What we have right now, we have a dual enroll program with SLCC, South Louisiana Community College. We have it with LSU. But we tend not to have it with our HBCUs. And what I'm more so interested in, more so because the state has now disintegrated certain programs. They used to be in the Just Start of the top tech programs, such as veterinary assistance, child care and development. They've done away with that. So those students who are interested in going to those fields no longer have an high-school opportunity. They also have that opportunity at SLCC, because SLCC no longer has the child care development program. And so not every student is able to go to a straight four-year college unless they have that dual enrollment opportunity with the, I'm getting my little rap of making the music for myself, he doesn't go with that. How can you partnership with Southern to get you over at our school and dual opportunity to increase the interest of students who would like to go to the NTA programs?
Yes, Southern has a dual enrollment program. Southern has a dual enrollment program in several high schools across the state. So we just need to come visit with you and talk about how that works and get you involved in the dual enrollment program. So I'll get your contact information so that we can start to make that happen.
And I would like to add, we are looking for other opportunities across the state to expand our footprint to enrollment perspective.
Dr. Walker explained it well. We have begun to have dual enrollment in several high schools across the state, particularly in around Baton Rouge and a few others. And so we are welcoming the opportunity to extend our footprint. Our dual enrollment program actually goes through our Southern University Baton Rouge campus, and so we have a contact there with Dr. Kanesha Ross, and she connects with us, and we can work to put that together as Dr. Revia Walker pointed out. So we are more than excited to begin that process with you all.
Questions over here outside?
Hi, my name is Sandra Davis, and my question may be a little different. This is my first meeting. I just completed a master accounting class, and my question is, I want to get into the farming side of it, and I want a program that will allow students to work with what I'm doing. But what I want to know is, do any program have free money to start somebody from the beginning, or tell me where to go if you don't?
Okay. Let me try to address that issue, but before I do, I want to get a clarification. Okay? So is your intent for you personally, because you spoke about completing the Master Cattleman program, is your intent for you personally to get into livestock, a livestock operation, commercial livestock operation? Or you mentioned students, is it for students to get involved?
Right.
Okay, let me address that. Farm Service Agency, okay, unfortunately, we don't have any free money, okay, because we're not authorized to make grants in any circumstance. But what we do offer is what's called a youth loan, okay, and it's available for young people, I believe, from age 8 to 19, I think is the age range, that are involved in a livestock, in an agricultural product. Our primarily focus is livestock simply because of the nature of the business. So what we would do is we would offer a young person who came to us and sought a loan, we would offer them a loan up to $5,000 for a project. And it's got to demonstrate ability to repay the loan, etc., and so on. They have to be involved in 4-H or FFA. They have to have a sponsor, if you will, someone to help them with this project, to advise them with the project. And then generally, especially when you're dealing with that youngest age group that I spoke of, generally it has to involve the parents at some level. But there is a loan program that is specifically designed for young people to establish relatively small enterprises to gain experience and knowledge about it.
What's the ages again?
I think it's 8 to 19.
Okay, so let me see if I'm understanding you right. So if I have a program, or if I have some students between the ages of 8 and 19, how many students can I have that will qualify for this loan?
Okay. The students will qualify individually. Okay. So if you had 10 students who wanted to do 10 separate projects, their own individual project, then each person can apply individually. So there is no minimum number, there is no maximum number. But there is a requirement that they have a plan, a business plan, if you will. That's part of the process to establish a business plan. That's typically where 4-H and FFA and or an advisor, county agent, ag teacher, etc. That's typically where they come in. They provide that expertise. And also, depending on their age, it may require the involvement of their parents.
Where do I apply for this?
Okay, at your local Farm Service Agency office. There are 37 offices across the state. Do you have access to the internet? And okay, I would encourage you to go to farmers.gov or to USDA.gov and search for youth loans. And you can find a significant amount of information about that. And then you in here in Opelousas? Yes. Okay. Your local Farm Service Agency office, your local USDA office, service center, is right beside Walmart on the service road. So if you wanted to talk to somebody in person, you could certainly do that.
Thank you.
So I'll add to that. I'm not going to be able to help you with the students themselves, but the piece of property that you have or that they may have access to.
I don't have property.
You don't?
I'm looking for that.
Okay. So he can talk to you about loans. Up to the kids for her to buy property. But we actually will get out on the property with the agriculture producer, and we'll help develop out a conservation plan. If that involves things like cross fencing, water development, those kinds of things, that we might be able to offer some cost share assistance. We do have funding pools and beginning farmers. Socially disadvantaged farmers is the term used in the Farm Bill. Those individuals actually get a higher rate of cost share. There is no free money from NRCS. It's all got a cost share component, but we can go as high as 90% cost share. And for a lot of folks, they can put in the practices themselves and not incur any expense. We'll essentially be able to pay for the materials and then some. if they use their own labor to install practices. We have some resources available, but all of our assistance is really tied to the land and producing conservation benefits on the land and helping people move their conservation objectives forward. So again, our office is the same place, but right here in the service center. Our district conservationist, Chris Davis, is over here. He's got his hand up, and he's a stellar state or district conservationist. He gets out, he's on the ground, and will work with anybody that requests assistance. So, you might reach out to him if you've got a particular piece of property, when you get your piece of property and you want to develop out a conservation plan.
Thank you.
Can I get your name again?
Sandra Davis.
Davis.
You're welcome. Go my number 2.
I'll give away your
You know phone number?
I'll give away your
Okay, and I'll add for Ms. Davis and anyone else. If you're interested in learning how to start a farm, how to start a sustainable agricultural business, the information is just as far away from you as your local cooperative extension employee. If you pass by this area during the daytime, you'll see that Mr. Harris and his folks are building a beautiful little mini farm where I'm looking at adding hydroponics and some chickens and goats. So probably we'll have some fruit trees and nuts and vegetables and herbs and everything else. So this is one opportunity that exists. We also are starting another beginning farmer leadership class in January, so that will be a wonderful opportunity to learn everything from what to look at what to look at to grow, developing your niche, the financing that will be available, how to manage those resources, what conservation programs exist. So we're going to be beginning that class in January. We'll get some applications out here for you. And also out in the back, we have our mobile technology education unit. We do 4 certification courses out of that unit. One is Sustainable Urban Agriculture Certification Course, Small Ruminant Goat-to-Sheep Master Certification Course, Food and Farm Safety, and that's critically important, the food and farm safety. You all hear about all of the outbreaks that come from things not being handled properly. We cover that in the food and farm safety course and the small business development course. So, and those courses are just literally a phone call away from you. So the education component, that's what we do over here to help you.
Thank you.
What's the cost of it?
Guess what? Your cost is your time. Your cost is your time. We take that unit across the state, and if you can get an audience, we'll come with the information. And again, everything is taken care of. The commitment that we ask for you to make is your time.
So you said food and farm safety, and you said small business, and what's the other 2 you said?
Sustainable agriculture and small ruminants. Sheep. Sheep and goat. That's all 4 of them. Do you have 4, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I also wanted to highlight that we have been in conversations with a number of private industry, particularly the grain industry, and a number of others that are willing and have indicated their willingness to help us as it relates to things that was indicated, in particular as sponsorship or some other opportunities. So we can reach out to you and reach out to them as well to see if there's an opportunity through that venue.
Next question.
Good evening, my name is Wilton Jones, and I have a unique question, I think. I started a museum in Philadelphia Parish, about Philadelphia Parish, on the phone, right on the phone in Philadelphia Parish. My question is,
we need some funds. And, Mr. Harris told me to check with Dr. Johnson. And I looked at her and she looked away, so I don't know what it means. And then the young man over here with the money. Are you listening to what I'm saying?
I heard you loud and clear.
We just started, and we have most of the exhibits up. Life utility parish on the phone in the rural area, and we need some help with leadership, what funds, old documents, anything you have to donate. Most of all, we need some love and money. That's what we need. So anybody can address that question by saying yes. And by the way, I told Mr. Harris if he give me some fun, I'll put him in the museum. So thank you very much.
So rural development here, USC rural development, there's a couple of things that we can look at with you. Unfortunately, I love the quite free money. Unfortunately, we don't have the type of free money that I would love and to contribute to what you're doing with your museum.
Well, I didn't say free money, I said fun.
Yep. So I'm starting from the best and then going to the next one. So the next one is and it depends on the structure of the museum itself. So
It's a 501c3 nonprofit.
right. So on that particular thing, there's a couple of options. One is our community facilities program, which is a direct loan program. Sometimes there's some grant monies for that. But then there's also our rural business development grant, in which we can explore some different opportunities for you to be able to gather some things and other things like that in working with the community and be able to assess, as long as it's tied to rural jobs. And so, of course, so we have a gentleman behind you, big guy behind you, that's Mr. Lee Jones. He's my assistant to the state director.
So you're going to turn too far, I'm going to come edit.
Yep. So come and meet with us after and we can talk about our different programs. The other one, if it's a private business, I just want to mention that to you as well, especially for our rural businesses, is our business and industry loan guarantee program. That's another opportunity. Again, this is for private businesses, but it sounds like with the 501c that you have, our community facilities direct loan program can work with you.
Well, we'll talk to the bill before I leave.
I am really thankful that Dr. Castillo took that question first, because I unfortunately was going to have to tell you that I could not help you with that. Because all of our funds must be tied directly to production agriculture. So if you're not producing a crop, we don't have the authority to assist. But what I did do, and just for the record, if you see me on my phone, it's not that I'm attention deficit, it's that I'm taking notes, okay? So I did take your name and some notes, and what I will do is pass on your effort to our management team here in St. Landry Parish. And if there's some memorabilia or important documents that we might possess relative to a historical perspective that we could donate, we'll certainly consider doing that.
Thank you for that. Dr. Johnson?
I did not ignore you. I did not ignore you. Dr. Johnson sits here, and I'm Miss Johnson, and we happen to be cousins, so that's just fine.
Well, either one y'all can go ahead.
Right. We're gonna let him take it though. But we do have the National Agricultural Library, and I will look into it. I did take notes, and not that I know that they're funds or anything, but I'm glad RD did take it because I think they can assist. But we want to collaborate with efforts as much as possible, so I will look into it also.
Appreciate it, okay?
Mr. Jones, I would like to add that another thing that the mainland campus can do as you begin to find grants and paperwork that needs to be done, I would like to give you my name and I'll do all I can to assist you in putting that particular grant proposal together as Carol had mentioned.
Who do I speak with?
There, but if you don't write them right, probably won't get it. So I'm available to help you out.
Who do I speak to? You have a system back there? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Next question.
Hi, my name is Deborah Vaughn. I have a question for Bayou. I'm familiar with Saudi. My granddaughter has done it for years. My question for Bayou is Bayou just like a bridge program? Or is it a program where students can go and get college courses? My granddaughter graduates in spring. And my dilemma is, should I send her to Bayou? Or should she go to Southern in the summer as a college student and earn college credits? And then I have another question. I'll sit down and you can answer when you can. I teach in the middle school. One of the teachers there, a science teacher, he did a garden, a community garden. The kids planted vegetables and anybody who lived in the area could come in and pick the vegetables. So can they get a grant?
Let her answer and I'll come back.
Let me just say this as it relates to Bayou. Bayou is a program that starts in elementary school. Hopefully one day it will start in pre-K. But it goes all the way through graduate school. And so there are 7 or 8 different phases now, I believe. And so as you make your specific question of whether they start summer school or come to Bayou, probably 50% or more of students that start in this program, because they think they like it, end up changing the nature. And so one of the things we do in Bayou, the SRD or regular Bayou phases 1, 2, and 3, we have what we call freshman, incoming freshman program. And that's the only time a student get in that specific program is they must have graduated the spring semester from high school. And so it pushes you right into college. But it exposes you to all of the programs, not only in our college, but to other university programs as well. And so when the student participates in that program, when they come to the university, whether they come into our college or to the other college, they can hit the ground running. And you might worry about changing your major because you got a feel of what the program has to offer. Okay? We will welcome your student, your child, as an incoming freshman through the Bayou program, or she still participate in the Bayou program as a freshman once she gets there. But it will be enhanced if she came in through the Bayou program. Okay? Almost all of the top minority black leaders in USDA at the national level came to our Bayou program. That should tell you something. Okay? Other questions?
Let me respond to the second part. Okay, so is it Ms. Barnes?
Yes.
Okay, I want to make sure I got it.
And I teach in a rural school, Cecilia Junior High.
Okay, so unfortunately, we don't have funds available for community gardens, but Dr. Pat Ann, stay here. This question came up at a previous session, and there are some resources that are available to assist schools with that. I'm giving you a second here. You ready? Okay, I'm handing it off.
And since Mr. Antonio Harris is working with a lot of schools in the area, I'm going to hand it on to him.
But I have the luxury, and even though it's Cecilia, right? One thing. Well, a few things. If you are trying to develop a community garden and you need some time, I would suggest that you attend what we have through the university. Group every year we go to what's called Southern Fall Sustainable Ag Working Group. You can .org. You can Google them. Okay, they have what they available which are called scholarships. Okay, you can apply for one of those. what you should first do is attend one of those conferences. Okay?
I didn't say it. I did it right. I said another teacher did it.
That is okay. I would encourage you, like so many of us that didn't know much about gardening, but if you need expertise, we can offer that also from right here. It's all okay. We'll go over to your school, and we will begin like we have at many other schools here in the parish. We can start with gardening. We can get the small animal productions also. It depends on to the extent what you want to do at your school. Okay? And I tell you what, we also hold you accountable, or that teacher accountable, for what we have to offer. That means if we come back, we still want to see that you're working. But, so that's just the beginning. But if you want to continue and see all of the other options, Southern Salt will work with you also. But you can do that first with this office. Simply contact us. We will come out and visit as we have done in so many schools. We can do it in the process. Okay? Thank you.
When that conference will be held?
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. It's all conference begins in January. Yeah, we'll give you information on that also. But change the schools that you come right into this office, okay? Because we still serve 10 parishes for Southwest region.
Just one more follow-up, actually two. So in the rural development programs, we also have our community facilities grants program and loan program. That's one thing. But in a former life, I used to work for the Department of Ag and Forestry, and we got a lot of calls about school gardens. So I just Googled just a few minutes ago to see when the USDA Food and Nutrition Service grant program became open for the school grant, farm-to-school program. And these include school gardens as well. The grant application is actually open and it closes on December 4th. So you can Google it, but it's a fantastic program. There's several schools that have also participated in this program.
What's the website?
And so you can go to probably farmer.gov, or you can probably go to USDA. I'm on fns.usda.gov, but you might just Google USDA farm school grants. Google that.
What is it called?
It is I'm looking at it right here. It is the Farm to School Grant Program. I just saw the news release came out on October 26th. And again, the deadline is December 4th. 18th.
Okay. You want to let that sign keep you on.
Okay, there's a gentleman in the back that raised his hand up.
Yes, sir.
I don't need one.
Now, please use it because we're recording.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much. My name is Terenza RV.
I can't hear you.
My name is Terenza RV, WJ. I teach at Opelousas Junior High. We do box gardens, thanks to Mr. Tony and Sardi. We have probably 7, and we do very well. But I'm thinking more of doing a non-traditional farm. I have 5 acres, 5 to 7 acres, and I'd like to do avocado and mango. However, my major problem is that seedlings are hard to find in America. I have to send money to other places in order to get them. And I prefer to send them and to get it from other places because dealing with Monsanto, you don't know what you're getting. So I'm more reluctant to deal with people throughout the other countries to get the things that I need that I know that's safe. So who can help me? Grants. For a non-traditional farm.
Okay, so as I said earlier, we offer loans, not grants, but we do offer loans to production agriculture. What you described sounded to me as if that you want to plant avocado and mangoes and create a commercial operation.
Production.
Yeah, production. And so we could potentially fund that. What you need to do is if you have a business plan, you have to demonstrate the cost, the potential return. You have to demonstrate that you have a market, et cetera, the handling, et cetera. But if you have a business plan, then I'd encourage you to go sit down at this service center. Are you here in Opelousas?
I teach in Opelousas. I'm from Millplant.
Okay. So you actually could go to, is your land, where's your land?
In Millplant.
Okay. Well, then you can go to Crowley, to the USDA Service Center, or you can go here in Opelousas to the USDA Service Center and talk to them about your business plan. But basically any production crop would be eligible for a loan. We have a program called the micro loan program, okay? And that program basically has a pretty simple application process, much simpler than our normal process. It has a loan limit of $50,000. And it is particularly helpful to people with limited previous experience. There is some experience necessary and or mentorship for that process. So I don't know about your previous experience, but I'd encourage you to ask about that program, the micro loan program.
Well, the experience I do have is basically out of the country.
Right.
Dealing with people right at 100 acres or more.
Right.
Even with sugarcane.
I'd encourage you to go and talk to them and ask about that. And if you already have a business plan, take it with you. If you don't, kind of create. You can certainly work with the resources that are available to develop that. But that is something FSA potentially could fund.
Someone answered the question about seedlings, other than getting it from another country.
That's outside of my expertise.
Okay.
The microloans, do you have to apply for it or you just get it, you have to qualify?
Oh, no, you apply and we evaluate your plan for cash flow and there's several things, technical things. But yes, ma'am, you have to apply, but it's just like, it's very similar to getting a loan at a bank. Okay? And the micro loan, the only difference is it has a much simpler application process and it's designed for people with little experience relative to our other loan products that have a much higher loan limit.
I just want to add, for any of you, if you find yourselves in a position and you need a business plan, we can assist you with that.
This young lady is
I'm here tonight.
The business, I'm sorry, the business plan?
Oh, I'm sorry.
And we will also begin searching. Several of us took notes about the types of seedlings that you need. So we will use our networks and contact producers in other states to find out if anyone knows where we can get that. And our network is broad, so we'll help look for that.
Be sure that you need.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I'm Eva.
Pick up.
Hello. I'm Eva. I live right here in Opelousas. I'm just one of your elder citizens. I'm 81 years young. So tonight I'm going to ask the people that I invited to come stand with me. Please stand up. Ron Nicholas, Louis John, Helen. Come on, just stand up, stand up. And you two stand up because we are here. I see sit now. Listen, no, I'm in a very unique situation with you. I've been talking about community gardening. I grew up on the farm. My ancestors were landowners. We were not sharecroppers. Nothing wrong with being that. But listen, I'm here tonight on behalf of the people. And if nobody Jones doesn't stand up, I'm going to stand him up. Ron Nicholas here too. But anyway, listen, you're already done your time. I'm here tonight because they have a vested interest in, we want to follow the cooperation to mass produce vegetables. Well, one lady has 25 acres of land. She's not here tonight. Miss Helen over here has 10 acres of land, and she offered it to me to use it to see all of the produce that is community. You got to employ other people in this you have to employ some other people to come aboard. So that's why I'm here tonight. I also went to follow my head in March, and I really saw what lack of food and water and people too. And they are out. The only thing that separates us from those good people is the Atlantic Ocean. Because love has won for separation of love.
Okay.
And who you are, we all love. So I went in March, and like I said, I first saw this community garden is where it is old. It has not been a masterpiece, but it has not given up.
Your question is you want to start a co-op?
These people, yes.
That's what you're trying to do.
If you want to get a 501c3, I'm a notary, and I can put a package together for you all for the corporation.
That's where to go. And USDO, yeah.
So there's a few programs actually to be able to help you out. And so one, you talked about co-ops, you had mentioned a co-op.
Excuse me, I want you guys to listen up.
So our first one is our Rural Cooperative Development Grant. It basically helps establish, helps groups to be able to establish and operate a co-op. And so that's the first one. And the other one that we have is our socially disadvantaged groups grant. That's another program that you'd be available for. And I don't want to go into all the details, but again, we in the back, we do have programs to be able to help you. Another one that I think might be beneficial for you is our value-added producer grant. Those are opportunities to be able to say, I use the strawberry jam for example. Taking strawberries, making strawberry jam out of it. So those are 3 grant types of opportunities that we can work directly with you, and I think we can do some great things. Yep. Yep.
It's not all like giving you just money, but you need to be consistent to get started.
So these are the 3 programs. I look forward to talking to you after. You're welcome.
Okay, we got 25 minutes before the time is up.
Dr. Field?
Yeah.
I'll jump in here real quick, where we're talking about folks that have their land and are producing on that land. Certainly, get in touch with Natural Resources Conservation Service. We have a program where we can actually work with y'all on hoop houses to extend your growing season, provide some protection, improve your irrigation systems through trickle irrigation, those kind of things. So those are all cost share programs, but as I said earlier, they'll typically come with 90% cost share. So that's a big chunk of money to help along the way. So there's some opportunities there. Again, contact our local service center. Chris Davis and his crew will look at it. But where you got that land and you're trying to produce agricultural products on it, we've got some conservation work we can help with.
So, excuse me, you said rural co-op, social disadvantage, and value-added
producer grant.
And we can also help you with the cooperative development, cooperative extension program.
I would like to just let Ms. Eichel know about Haiti. Johnny Seed, as you mentioned before, is willing to send the seeds to Haiti. And we need a Creole or French-speaking person. We do have that person at Southern University, Dr. Pate Tono, and Ms. Carrier, and she just recommended that we hold off until November 18th this year, because there's some things that may be going down in Haiti. And after that, she will be getting back in contact with you because she do speak French, and you could link up with the person in Haiti. She'll call and Johnny Seed, and they can work that out. She said, let us wait, because there may be a lot of stuff going on.
Okay, we don't get the gentleman just stand up back here.
Good afternoon. I want to apologize for my tardiness, but I caught the end of everything. I'm sorry, I was working. My concern is the youth. Is there anything available for the youth? I'm probably the youngest contractor here. I build, I do flooring. I'm trying to find another avenue for the kids, the ones that may not make it in school, educational. What they have like Steve always said, I hate using the word plan B, but another avenue to where they can use their hands and go farther than resorting back to the streets. I also coach the youth. Young lady right here, the one invited me. I coached her daughter. We have a very high successful rate as far as championships, everything. So that's my goal. That's what I want to talk to you. That's why if there's any program for that.
Thank you. Yes. We are, well, at least I am, and some others here are a part of a NAG group called Agro-Med Incorporated. And we've secured some funding to help youth with the introduction to agriculture. So I would encourage you, meet with the athletes. We have a list of youth, in particular, that you might have some problems with. Those are the exact individuals that we would like to see first get involved in agriculture. Okay? So we can help you. So all we have to speak to you after.
And I don't know if you were here when we mentioned the value program and the many phases of it, but you can certainly talk to our staff afterwards, and they can tell you about those programs.
Good evening. My name is Tanya Robinson Lloyd. I want to echo the young lady from Warrior Chess. I am a teacher at Corbury High School, and I'm an adjunct professor at South Louisiana Community College. I want to echo what she said. I'd like to really partnership more with the dual enrollment program because I work with the dual enrollment program at SLCC. I'm also the site coordinator for after school tutorial program at Corbury High School. And currently we have some STEM projects that we definitely need, we would definitely be happy for your assistance with. One, we have a small composting project that's going on, as well as we really want to get involved with small animal farming, mainly with chicken, some assistance with making some chicken coops. We actually have rabbits, and we have some small gardens, that's in place right now, but we definitely would like your assistance. And also I'm proud to say that I am an individual that went through the value program several years ago. So thank you to the USDA, and of course thank you to my HBCU, Southern University. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
I would like to just say also to Dr. Boyd. Dr. Boyd was one of the facilitators, Dr. Tartan, for your summer study program. She taught the ACT prep, and Crystal Washington had mentioned that a lot of the kids' scores went up dramatically. I'd like to say thank you very much on behalf of the Land Grant campus.
Thank you, Dr. Boyd.
And please talk to us after finish with that permission of that. Okay. Other questions?
Okay.
How many super potato farmers we have in office?
Sweet potato farm.
I can become one.
What kind of crops are we looking at? What are some of the crops you are looking at that you may be successful with this year?
You asking me what
Crops.
Big old fortune.
Sweet potatoes go to the calculator. We have a lot of sweet potatoes. What is restart? You need restart? You don't do the sweet potatoes anymore?
How many of you all participated in the agricultural census program? Can I see the hand of those that?
No, nobody this year.
Nobody. There are reasons why we got a lose our census program.
This is my first time in.
Nobody can stay in that program?
They have fun to the institutions.
Would you tell us the importance of that?
Absolutely. We do conduct the ag census every 5 years, and that does give us the opportunity to look at the changes in the infrastructure and that's happening at a local level. So what we need to do is to capture everybody that is involved in any type of agriculture. And a farm, for our purposes, is anybody that produces at least $1,000 worth of goods that they sell or have the potential to sell. So if you have a little raised garden and you're going to a farmer's market and you're selling tomatoes off of it and you're selling cabbage or whatever, and you're making $1,000 or more, we need to capture you. Because if we don't measure the small farms and specialty farms, we can't say this industry is growing. And we need to capture that. So this is an area where we need programs for. You can go to our website, you can do it's a Be Counted, so you can sign up. And we'll catch you on the next census, but it is important that we capture this data so we know that these people that are gaining in the industry. You know, we need to see who's joining us. We have a lot of changes in the farm to market, you know, the school gardens. There's a lot of interest in that. People want to know where their food comes from. We're the information group that they're going to come to saying, how much growth have we seen in the small market? Who are those people? What's their demographic? Yes.
What is the next survey coming?
It will be in 22. In 2022.
And if you take $1,000 award, and send it into the IRS? No, you ain't worried about it like that.
But let me expand just a little bit on some of that. We have a confidentiality agreement. The information that you give us, we separate it once it's checked in. You know, your data goes one way, your name goes somewhere else. We do not feed information to the IRS. We don't feed names and addresses to any of these, you know, no. Your information is, you know, we take your name off of it, we don't share it.
Okay, you know if you make $1,000 award and the food stamp people find out you made $1,000, you get cut off, you know?
Okay. You know.
I'm just kidding.
Some of the questions that you may have on there is what crops do you produce? How much did you make off of their crop? You know, what was your yield? And then they're going to ask the value because we need to know if this is a small farm. We're also going to ask the demographics, you know, how old are you? Because the average farmer in Louisiana is 58 years old. And it's raising, you know, it's going up every time. So we expect to see that. We've seen a change in organics. So we're trying to capture that too. We're trying to look at the changes over the 5-year time frame and what's happening in the ag structure.
Okay, we're going to take one more question.
One more question.
I do not have a question, but I'd like to make a comment about the ACT of our students. First of all, there are too many students taking the ACT and they don't prepare themselves. When I was at Opelousas High School some long years ago, we started an ACT workshop. And people came from units and they took our paddling and they took it to LSUE. But our students need to sit down and start practicing and time themselves on these ACTs. If they need any comments in mathematics, I used to know a pretty good bit of it because I'm a retired math teacher. But one thing I strongly recommend, there's too many people having their kids take the ACT at a very early age. Get yourself prepared when you take it. Thank you.
We appreciate that question. And we do as part of the value program, ACT testing prep. And we're going to be expanding that to SAT and please talk to us sometime afterwards about that.
I didn't identify myself. I'm Percy Jordan. I talked to you, Dr. Phil, a long time. I know Dr. Walker, Dr. Marion, Allison, and
we know you want you to help us. So
yeah, I will help with ACT and stuff like that.
Appreciate it.
I have a baby grandson that's Operation?
Rest.
I'll talk to you after that.
Okay, other than before I allow this on every time, you should have survey. Please complete them. The young lady behind and pick them up. But please complete those. Additionally, and we almost through, but before everybody leaves, it's very important for us to go by the easels and answer some of the questions, because we would use those to help build not only this program in terms of this method, but also as we go on with other sessions around the state. Help us out there. We're going to ask USDA if they have any final comments starting this over there. And then we don't.
Thank you, Dr. Fields. Just real quick, back in that back corner, there's a table, and I brought some pollinator seed packets. So if you want to put some plants that will attract pollinators in your flower beds, around your garden, whatever, there's some seed packets. You're welcome to. Also, there's our 3 most recent copies of Louisiana Conservation Update. You're welcome to take those. It has some, like our hoop houses and some other things that we talked about here. There's each one element in the magazines that are produced monthly, and they highlight what agriculture producers are doing in Louisiana from a conservation perspective. Also, if you would like to get this, there is a sign-up sheet back there, and you can put your address or your email address. We'll send it either way. However you want it sent, just put it back there, and we will not turn it into the IRS or anything else. Your address will remain secure with us, but it will get you this free every month in your mailbox. So thank you very much.
Okay. First of all, I want to take this opportunity, and I'll speak on behalf of my colleagues, to thank Dr. Fields and his staff, and not only for hosting this meeting and allowing us to come and hear your needs, but also for the work that they do throughout the year where we're working together to try to meet the needs. And it's always gratifying to me to see that we're all providing something to assist you. I want to clarify a point. I've got several notes where different individuals indicated a desire to establish some sort of production agricultural business, whether it be for youth or whether it be for adults who want to get into a commercial business. A couple of things that I'd encourage you to do. I would encourage you to visit your local USDA service center and talk to the USDA agencies there about the details of your desire, and ask them about programs, because we talk broadly about our programs and we talk about what they can do, but they're dependent on all the details around your operation. Okay? So I always have learned to say, look, don't make assumptions based on a few comments here tonight. Go and find out what the details are and identify not only what the opportunities are, but also identify what your individual challenges may be. And then look for resources to address those challenges. And just as an example, I mentioned a couple times in my comments a business plan. We meet with a lot of individuals who come to us seeking funding for an operation, for an ag operation, whether it's livestock, vegetables, whatever the case may be. And they may have some land, they may have an idea about the crops, but they don't actually have a business plan to show what the expenses would be and what the returns would be. And Dr. Patahan mentioned that they could assist in there. So there's an opportunity and a resource. And that's what I'm trying to say. Start tying all these things together. Mr. Norton mentioned some of the conservation programs that might go hand in hand to assist you if you were to apply for a loan with FSA. So it's really a big picture issue, and I would encourage you to take the details of your operation and learn about all these different pieces, and then figure out how these pieces might go together to meet your needs. And don't make assumptions based on a few comments that you made in general about what's available, because our comments were just intended to make you aware of the opportunities and possibilities.
How many years of the business plan needs to be for? Are you going to tell us when you go?
Well, they'll tell you when you go, because it depends on your operation.
I want to thank Southern University. This has been a great opportunity. My apologies for having missed some of the other sessions, but this has been rewarding for me. getting to know some of the folks in our communities, but also identifying the needs and how we can help out. And we really are here to be able to help you out and listen to the concerns that you have, but also working directly with partners like Southern University and talking about business plans, how we grow our rural communities, how we grow our agricultural partnerships. And again, great meeting. Thanks, Dr. Fields, for all your help and support for USDA.
Thank you. Echo what Carrie just said. And as we move to this next census, I will work with Southern to make sure that we advertise it and we get people counted, because we spend the 5 years in between getting names and addresses. So we will work, we'll come up with a plan to get out and, help you guys sign up, and, we can help you fill those questionnaires out as well. So we'll work on that for the next census.
I'd just like to take this opportunity to also thank Dr. Fields and Southern for inviting me. I don't get invited to meetings. One of those programs, we don't have a lot of giveaways, but we are the crop insurance program. So some of you all who are looking forward to getting to the crop production business, I will be a part of your life some kind of way, in some form of fashion, because if you take out a loan, particularly with F-Farm Service Agency, we have a policy available. They're going to make you buy crop insurance. So that will be a part of your plan. I just want to make you all aware that the crop insurance program is there for everybody. It's available to everybody. We try to make it available to even those who are getting to the beginning stages of production. Thank you.
Over one that is true. It's for real. So you got to take out the insurance because you may need it. Over here.
Like I said, Mr. Norton, I'm Chris Davis. I'm the district conservationist here in the Opelousas field office, and I would just like to thank Southern University as well, and also AgroMint. I know Mr. Harris. You guys do outreach. You don't know the tremendous benefit of the outreach you get for our socially disadvantaged producers. Without you guys, I can't do my job to the full extent. And I just want to tell you, I severely appreciate that. I mean, that is a big thing for me. And a lot of the questions that I get is I only have 2 acres. I can't qualify for anything. I've got 5. I don't have 500 acres. That doesn't matter. Okay. We have, like Mr. Norton said, the financial assistance programs that we have, and I know that there's a lot of producers. And I just looked at some numbers real briefly for the 2014 Farm Bill here in St. Landry Parish. For the Environmental Qualities Incentive Program, almost $5 million in this parish to producing. And as you know, economically, that's a huge factor to go into producers in this parish. They spend it on their operation in terms of that money keeps turning over. So we have with our contracts, we had 203 contracts with the 2014 Farm Bill, and about 24% of those were classified as socially disadvantaged participants. And speaking of census data, about 19% or so on the 2012 data was classified themselves as socially disadvantaged farmers. So we are at that number, but I would like to improve with you guys' help, continue to improve to those levels, because it makes your outreach and word of mouth. And out of those 203, we mentioned beginning farmers and things, 65% of those were beginning farmers, limited resource farmers, socially disadvantaged farmers. So we have an avenue, Ms. Davis, for things like you and in your community garden that you have the technical assistance that we can provide. We have agricultural engineers that can come out and set up an irrigation system for you and potentially provide that financial assistance to get you, for an efficiency of conserving your resources and things. So we have a wealth of things here at NRCS, and I just want to say we appreciate all of y'all's time out here, and please continue to help us get outreach to all the individuals, because there's nobody we want to leave left behind. Thank you for your time.
What's the contact number?
It's area 337-942-2530, extension 3. And what's great about it is we work together. I have a great relationship with rural development. Ms. Quirk is there, and also Ms. Courtney Francois is there with FSA. We work in a lot of our participants will receive a microloan, like Mr. Craig talked about, to implement some of their conservation practices. And also socially disadvantaged participants potentially can qualify for what we call advanced payments. Okay, so they can get up to 50% of the funds in order to install that practice. And that helps out a lot of our producers. But we have a lot of loans with FSA, our participants, where we actually, once they complete a practice, then those funds will be sent to FSA to offset their loans. So there's lots of things that we can do within that office that we just encourage you to come see us.
Y'all open at night?
No, sir. Unfortunately. Although it's been getting so dark lately, it seems like it's night a lot early. But, we're usually there, you know, in my office, somebody's always there 7 to 4, for sure.
And where is the office?
It's right here by the Walmart.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am. The American flag, right by the Tire Center. You go across there, but whatever parish you're in, there is an office that will provide exactly the same things.
I just have a quick comment, because I couldn't let the night pass. This is a USDA liaison agreement to be between the university and USDA and the landowners. And I invited BC to watch us on YouTube tonight and some of the other 1890 institutions, so I can't wait to hear how impactful this meeting was around the country, and I believe that it was, because our purpose is to come and listen to you all. And I appreciate Dr. Fields and having the vision to want to start these listening sessions, and I just look forward to the rest of them throughout the state of Louisiana. Thank you for allowing us to be a part.
And we want to thank you all for coming. You know, it's very educational, very informative, and you learn a whole lot, and we still have a lot of questions. So we hope to see you in the future, not just one time and put us on the side of the road. I want you to come back.
Our doors are always open to you.
Take your sir.
I had 2 questions. 2-part questions. One is, let me see a show of hands of those of you who have been to a USDA service center in the past 6 months. In the past year. How many of you have never been to a USDA service center?
Have never? Oh, everybody.
All right. I'm going to put the script down. Extension. I just want to show you, see hands. Those of you who have been to an extension, I don't know whether it's southern or whether it's other issues. All right. As Allison has said, this is a partnership. Partnership between land grant and USDA. And we are legislative, have a legislative mandate to service you guys, be it the state extension service, be it other few service, or be it USDA. We are paid well to serve you.
Oh, yeah?
We pay well to serve you. But it's up to you all to take advantage of it. And if you don't take advantage of it, then it's taxpayer money going to waste. So I want you to use all of us. And if you use it, if we don't have else, we have a mandate to get that else. One of the good things about both USDA and the extension service is that it's a national organization. And so if we can't answer in Louisiana, they go back to Washington. If we can't answer in Louisiana, we go to every other state in the nation and get the information for you. So there's no doubt that Olive and Mango extension is going to get you an answer. I'm the best of it. All right? So again, I want to thank all of you all for allowing us and Chicken to be a part of the I've often said that we want to change the paradigm of both USDA and extension and research and whatever at Southern University. is that we have to come to you versus waiting on you to come to us. And so I assure you that we will be coming to you more often. All of the questions you've asked here have been recorded. And then those that you thought you should have asked, we will be giving you those questions as well. Because we can't help you unless we know your business. And that's why we're here. That's why we call it a listening session rather than just a talking session. We don't want y'all to just hear us talk. We want to hear what you all got to say so that we can devise a method to get to the root of how we get served. Now, having said all that, you got one last question. Even if it's good night, I'll accept it. Good night.
One right here. I have a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a comment. You know, a lot of us sitting here have attended the Land Grant Institution. And now we are sitting, like I was the first generation of my family to ever go to college. I didn't know what it was all about.
Me too.
When my mama dropped me off at Southern and I saw her driving away, I didn't know whether to run behind that car. I mean, I was a country girl, you know, and all this. But anyway, it started something in my family. And now the third generation is on your campus. And you know, we still try to encourage some of our children to get that foundation. We didn't get the foundation there. It came through some of these schools here in St. Andrew Parish and other states in the union now. But, you know, when they get there, you know, it's not a negative thing. But we could give our kids more of a personal touch when they're trying to struggle and leaving home for the first time. And that's what I find where we are lacking. I have the third generation of my family from Southern Kansas. And so many times he has wanted to go back home because he was not being touched by that personal touch or whatever. And I've talked to even members of the board that I didn't even know. I've reached out to try to help this person. And even now, almost in their third year, they still struggling, you know, with that.
It's not hard. He hasn't called the person. I don't know what it's been used. He hasn't called me, and I don't know if you get it there.
Yeah. And you know, I'm that grandmother who really wanted to see him finish there, if that's what he wanted. You know, he has had a great grandmother who went through Southern. And then, you know, then her son and I. And now, and my children have gone, and now he's there. So it's almost the fourth generation. So I wouldn't want to see him turn around.
And we're not going to allow him to turn around.
You know, but I've been fighting with that. And many others have seen the same problem too, that he has seen.
We already did it.
Whole generation over here. That's Southern.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I have a granddaughter that graduated, but all the help that they all for, I think, so we have Dr. Walker's put on the out of every good registration. Yes.
Yeah, you know, and my grandson, I mean, his parents they came from Michigan just to help him to register. You know, because he was so frustrated. And Mr. Harrison was
Okay, I'm gonna do one last thing. You see Dr. Carter here?
Thank you.
If he got what I'm asking you all to stand up in place, and the USDA to fix it, and we're gonna take a holistic picture of this group, put it on the USDA webpage, and the world will know that far. Thank you all again for coming. Let us take a picture.